If you have ever changed everything, the job, the city, the relationship, the habits, and somehow ended up feeling like the same person in a different room, this video is going to explain why. And the answer is not what the self-improvement world has been telling you. It is not that you lacked discipline. It is not that you chose the wrong goals. It is something underneath all of that, something so quiet you have probably never thought to look at it. Your life is not built by your decisions. Your life is built by your nervous system. And until the state of that system changes, every new life you build will slowly, invisibly, be pulled back into the shape of the old one. Stay with me, because once you see this, you cannot unsee it, and everything that has confused you about your own patterns will finally make sense. Let me begin with a story. There was once a man who lived in a village he had come to hate. The neighbors quarreled, the work was heavy, his days felt gray, and his nights felt anxious. So one spring, he packed everything he owned and walked over the mountains to a new village, one famous for its kindness and its calm. On the road, near the mountain pass, he met an old monk sitting by a spring. "Old man," the traveler said, "you must know this region. What are the people like in the village ahead?" The monk looked at him for a moment and asked, "What were they like in the village you left?" The traveler's face darkened. "Quarrelsome, cold, exhausting. That is why I left." The monk nodded slowly and said, "I am sorry. I think you will find the people ahead to be exactly the same." And the traveler walked on, discouraged. Some hours later, a second traveler came up the same road, also moving from the old village to the new one. He too stopped at the spring, and he too asked the monk, "What are the people like in the village ahead?" The monk asked him the same question. "What were they like in the village you left?" And the second traveler smiled and said, "Honestly, good people, tired, like me, doing their best. I was sad to go." And the monk smiled back and said, "Do not worry. You will find the people ahead to be exactly the same." For centuries, this story has been told as a lesson about attitude. But hidden inside it is something much deeper, something modern science has only recently learned to measure. The monk was not saying that both villages are identical. He was saying something more unsettling. You do not experience the village. You experience the village through your state. Two travelers, one road, one destination, and two completely different villages waiting ahead, because each man carries the lens that builds his world inside his own body. Here is what that means in the language of the nervous system, and why it decides so much more of your life than your choices do. At every moment, beneath your thoughts, your nervous system is holding one of a few basic states: a settled state, where the body feels fundamentally safe, or a survival state, in its two main colors, the activated one, restless, braced, scanning, and the shutdown one, heavy, numb, withdrawn. You already know these states from the earlier videos. But here is the piece that changes everything. Your state is not just how you feel. Your state is a filter on reality itself. It decides, before your conscious mind gets a vote, what you notice, what things mean, what feels possible, and what feels dangerous. In a settled state, a colleague's short reply is just a busy person. In an activated state, the same reply is evidence of rejection. In a settled state, an opportunity looks like a doorway. In a shutdown state, the identical opportunity looks like a burden, or you simply do not see it at all, because a nervous system in survival narrows the field of vision, literally and figuratively, to threats and exits. Same village, different traveler. And now follow the chain one step further, because this is where your life gets built. Your state filters your perception. Your perception drives your reactions. Your reactions, repeated 1,000 times, become your patterns. And your patterns, who you reach for, what you avoid, how you respond to stress, what you believe you deserve, quietly assemble themselves into the thing you call your life. The relationship you chose because chaos felt like home. The opportunities you declined because your body said danger when it only meant unfamiliar. The evenings that vanish into numbing because a system with no capacity left knows only how to disappear. None of these were decisions in the way you think of decisions. They were a state, expressing itself. Your life is your nervous system, printed outward onto the world. This is why changing the outside so rarely works. You can move villages, you can change jobs, partners, cities, routines. But if the traveler arrives in the same state, he rebuilds the same village, because the builder never changed. And this is also why the standard self-improvement answer fails so reliably. More discipline, more willpower, push harder. Here is the problem. Willpower is a thin, expensive layer that runs on top of the nervous system, and in a survival state, the body cuts its funding first. Trying to out-discipline a dysregulated nervous system is like shouting orders at a frightened animal from the deck of a sinking ship. The animal is not disobedient. It simply cannot hear you over the alarm. The monks saw this with perfect clarity, which is why their path looks so strange to modern eyes. They did not begin with ambition. They did not begin with goals, or plans, or vision boards for a better life. They began, always, for years, with the state. Sit, breathe, settle, only then act. The modern world calls this passive. It is the opposite. It is the most strategic move available to a human being. Change the builder before you build. And this brings us to the practice, and to an idea from the Buddhist tradition that may be the single most misunderstood concept in all of contemplative teaching: non-striving, effortlessness, the art of not forcing. Hear what it does not mean. It does not mean doing nothing with your life. It does not mean giving up your goals, your work, your responsibility. It means something far more precise. You cannot force a nervous system into a new state, for the same reason you cannot force yourself to fall asleep. Sleep, trust, calm, healing. These belong to a category of things that arrive only when the conditions are right and the forcing stops. Strive at them, and the striving itself, the gripping, the monitoring, the trying, is one more alarm bell that keeps the old state locked in. The monks discovered a paradox that sits at the center of all real change. The state that transforms your life can only be invited, never commanded. You do not fight your way into stillness. You stop fighting, and stillness is what remains. So here is the practice, the one this entire video has been building toward. It is deceptively simple, and it is the direct antidote to a life built by survival. Once a day, for 10 minutes, you are going to do nothing, on purpose, and completely. Sit or lie down somewhere you will not be disturbed. No phone, no music, no technique. Do not try to breathe correctly. Do not try to clear your mind. Do not try to relax. That is striving wearing a costume. Your only instruction is this. For 10 minutes, nothing is required of you. Nothing to fix, nothing to improve, nothing to become. Let your body do whatever it does. If thoughts race, let them race. You are not their manager tonight. If restlessness rises, let it be restless. You are, perhaps for the first time in years, giving your nervous system the one signal it has never received in your busy, striving, self-improving life. The demand has stopped. And here is what happens, not on day one, but soon, and reliably. A system that is finally not being pushed begins, on its own schedule, to complete what it could never finish while the pressure was on. The breath deepens without being told. The shoulders drop without instruction. The state begins to shift, not because you achieved it, but because you finally stopped preventing it. The tradition called this effortless action. Science now watches it happen on monitors. The settled state is the default your body returns to whenever the alarms genuinely stop. You were never broken. You were never lazy. You were interrupted, every day for years, by your own relentless effort to be better. 10 minutes of true non-doing, daily. Alongside it, if you have been with this channel through the last videos, keep the lamps burning, the long exhale, the given weight, the humming, the kind hand on the heart. Those practices settle the state. This practice teaches you to stop unsettling it. Together, they change the traveler. And when the traveler changes, something quietly astonishing begins to happen to the village. You will notice it in small ways first. A conversation that would have wounded you passes through you and leaves no mark. An opportunity you would have flinched from suddenly looks interesting. An evening that would have vanished into a screen turns, by itself, into a walk. You are not forcing any of it. The filter changed, so the world changed, so the choices changed. This is how a nervous system rebuilds a life. Not with one dramatic decision, but with 10,000 small perceptions, each one now passing through a body that believes it is safe. Months from now, people will ask what you did to change your life, and the honest answer will sound like a riddle. You stopped doing. You changed the state, and the life followed, the way water follows the shape of the vessel. Let us end with the ritual for tonight. This one is the shortest I will ever give you, because tonight, the practice is the absence of practice. Lie down, hands wherever they fall, close your eyes. Say to your body, once, silently, nothing is required of you tonight, not even healing. I am off duty. You are off duty. Whatever happens in the next 10 minutes is allowed. And then, keep your word. Do nothing. Watch. From a soft distance, whatever your body decides to do with its freedom. The sigh it takes without permission. The heaviness that arrives uninvited. That sigh is the whole teaching. It is what your system does the moment you finally leave it alone. Remember the two travelers, and the monk at the spring. The road ahead of you, the year ahead of you, is the same road either way. The only question that has ever mattered is which traveler walks it. Change the state, the village will take care of itself. If this gave you even a little bit of relief, stay a while. Subscribe to Mind and Monk, and let's keep walking through this together, one quiet truth at a time.